we'll be looking at the theme of how you share your unique gifts with the world and that light that you shine out into the world. Today, I will be demonstrating using a simple crayon technique. And this is something that you could also do with markers, colored pencils, oil pastels, even chalk pastels. It's a simple gradient technique that you could use in your journal as an opportunity to sort of dive in to expressing light on the page. I'm giving you some inspiration to explore in your journal, a couple of tips for how to explore, and also give you permission. And what I want you to do is use this permission slip to express in whatever way you are feeling called to do so. So if today you're really feeling like getting messy, getting the paints out, smearing your fingers in it, I invite you to do that as well. Tuck this little crayon technique into your back pocket and save it for another day. I've been keeping art journals since 2005. The intention for me is for a safe place just to explore whatever's on my heart at the time. I used to be so afraid to keep a journal because I was afraid somebody might find my inner musings and inner thoughts and judge me for them. And I found with art journaling, I could write things down and then cover them with paint, or I could make the page so chaotic that nobody could ever possibly read the handwriting. Do things in ways that still allowed me to be present to what was going on within and to be able to process things, but in a fun, playful, creative way. And what I found after the first journal that I did was that it became a place that documented my spiritual journey. So it's like a way for me to even deepen my spiritual tools, my meditative tools. So my goal is to share with you some of the tools that I've used in my art journals throughout the years so that you have some of these tools. Like I said, stick them in your pocket. So today our theme is all about light. And I really wanted to focus on this theme as we're moving back in to Creative Spirit Gathering, because light is one of those things that we talk about so much as artists, right? We're trying to recreate light on a canvas, and essentially anything that you're creating in art is a form of light, because it's all has to do with how the eye is perceiving the color. And so it's such an easy thing to look at and go, oh, this is an artist tool. How do I create light? And also, it is an inner spiritual tool. How do I create light? And the thing is, you are always creating light. There's nothing you have to do to create more light. It is just naturally who you are. The core of your being is light. It is a spiritual energy. It is love. It is creativity. It is wisdom. It is imagination. These things naturally flow through us. The thing is, kind of like we can do in our houses, we can close the shades, right? So we can block the light, but the light is always there. It's always shining. And so our goal as human beings having a spiritual, or the other way around, spiritual beings having a human experience, human beings remember our spiritual selves, is to focus on lifting that shade, unblocking our own natural light flow so that we are shining more fully out into the world, not just for ourselves, but when we recognize that the light that we shine forward helps to shine on anyone that we pass, that we interact with, everyone who's on this room right now, right? They're inspired by our light as well. So shining our light is not a selfish thing. It is like a gift that we give to the world, just as we give the gift of creativity out into the world. So I wanted to focus on this idea of creating a gradient in your journal, because if you look at this page, obviously the eye is drawn to that center point. It's drawn into the light. And again, just like our lives, it's like a journey. It's a path that we're led into, and that light catches the eye, it draws us in. This light seems brighter because it is so dark around the edges. And again, so often that happens in our lives too, right? It's like that pinpoint of light, that hope, that faith that is in the midst of something that might feel more turbulent. is a way of just being present to that and noticing the light that shows up. So this gradient, if you look at it, it is starting with a very light color in the center. Now, again, I happen to use sort of this squared spiral effect in my page, but you can do this with any type of shape that you want. So you could do a traditional spiral. You could also do like shapes and fill them in using the same technique. Camera doesn't like a full white page for some reason, so we'll try to get it to refocus. There we go. So if I start off with a lighter shade, again, even if I'm coming straight out, you could do this across your whole page. The key with the gradient is to overlap. So once I have one shade, I'm going to grab something that's slightly darker and I'm going to overlap. So you're still seeing some of that first color, that peachy color, as I'm adding in the yellow orange. And again, gradually getting darker and overlapping as I'm coming through. And moving into more reds. So you can see how we're going from lighter to darker. And as if we're doing this on a sheet where we've got an intention of a shape or a form that we're building out, that lightest piece is going to be that piece that sort of draws us into the center. Or again, we could even do something spherical and it's going to be like this light that's coming forward at you. Why am I using crayons? We are adults, yes, most of us here. I absolutely love using crayons in my art journal because it takes away that sense of trying to be too serious about it. I always say, you know, it's really hard to take yourself like too seriously when you have a Crayola in your hand. I often use materials that I would use in an elementary art school in my journal because it takes away that pressure of it having to be perfect or, you know, again, something that I'm going to hang on a gallery wall. But this idea of creating shading as a way of developing light in your page is also something that's so simple and it's repetitive. Again, if you're doing like spirals or something, you're repeating the same shapes. And that in itself can become very meditative. It helps you just to center into the present moment. And as you're thinking on this theme, I am light, right? And we're coming back to that truth for ourselves. I am light, I am light. And we're just simply drawing and being present with the materials. It allows us to notice other things that might be showing up, any blocks that are showing up, and we could jot them down on the next page. Any ideas of how would I shine my light that are showing up, and we can jot them down on the page. So as we're meditating with art, we're also being present to our mind, to the ideas and the thoughts that are coming up, perhaps to those words and affirmations that are showing up that are reminding us that this is our truth, that we are in fact light shining forward into all that we do, because we are the artists of our lives. So before I set you free to work in your art journal today, I'm going to take a moment to lean into a silent meditation. And what we're going to do is I'm just going to guide you into your heart for a moment of like 1 or 2 minutes, just to being present in that space. So right now, take a moment to notice your body. Notice any tensions and allow yourself to roll them out. Roll your shoulders, adjust your hips, roll your ankles if your feet are feeling stiff. Presencing the body helps us center. As you're ready, allow your body to come to stillness. And now we focus on the breath, breathing in presence, breathing in the peace of the present moment, and exhaling any tension. Breathing in again, breathing in that relaxing peace of the present moment. Exhale out any tension. Allow ourselves to become still, letting each breath continue to bring us closer to peace. And continue releasing anything that doesn't serve us in this moment. If you have any thoughts that pop into your mind, allow them to ride the breath. Allow them to ride the breath as a release. Know that they can come back as we move into our journal for processing. And right now in this moment, I invite you to move your awareness to your heart center. Notice the stillness of the heart. It's a quiet place, constant rhythm. From our hearts, we come into the knowing of the pure light at the center of our being. And we allow ourselves to rest for a moment of silence, the contemplation of the light that we are. Breathing in, breathing out, we release into the silence. I am light. I am light. Let these words guide you from your heart to your mind, to your body. I am light. We wiggle our fingers and toes as we come back into this present moment. The awareness of the truth at the core, the center of our being. I am light. I invite you to explore the theme of light in your art journal in whatever ways coming forward for you today. Explore and express your own heart, your own light.